What's up, guys? So today's video is going to be talking about kind of sourcing, and sometimes you have to source where you're uncomfortable. Now, what I mean by that is sometimes you have to take chances on going places. So my first adventure sourcing where I was uncomfortable was going to the bin store. My mom works at the bin store here, the Goodwill bin store here. So my first time I ever really going to her job, I was there to pick up something very important from her. And I guess the aisle was closed, and I went and walked towards where she would come out of the exit. So this guy says to me, "Oh, you know, real smart. You're not supposed to be crossing the line. You're not supposed to be going there." So me, being who I am, gave him a couple choice, colorful words and probably called him out of every name that his mother didn't give him, and told him I'm here for my mom. I'm not here for y'all BS, and stop talking to me. So when she came out, you know, we stood there and we talked for a while, and I seen what everybody was doing, and I was like, oh my God, this is like crazy chaotic. Everybody was running and stuff was just, you know, going everywhere, and it was just crazy. So finally, you know, I never went back until I got into reselling. And then finally one day I was just like, I gotta bite the bullet and I'm gonna go check this out, because I needed to find different ways to source. So I went, and now I'm kind of a regular, and everybody knows that I'm her child, you know, that works there. So, you know, I'm okay, and they don't say nothing to me, and most of the regulars don't say much to me. So everything is good there. But you know, I'm in Omaha, Nebraska, for those that didn't know. So I'm in a, you know, pretty cold weather state. It starts getting chilly in September. To be honest, it's like August, and this morning was like a little chill in the air when I was sitting out walking the dogs outside. It was like just a small hint of chill in the air. So it starts getting chilly here, like September-ish, like especially in the evening time. I know there's this event that I attend in September that my motorcycle club sponsors, and one year I had to, I think it was last year, matter of fact, I had to leave and run to Walmart and grab a long sleeve shirt because I didn't want to drive all the way back to my house. So it gets cold here in September. So garage sales are about to start, you know, getting minimal. Like even this weekend, there's not that many garage sales going on. I'm actually about to go try to hit a couple now after I go see my mom. I'm gonna try to hit, there's maybe 2 or 3 garage sales that I've really seen that have anything that I know I could probably really source. A lot of it is baby clothes and baby stuff, which I, you know, don't sell. And I love when they put the stuff in the site. I'm not saying that they don't have anything else there, but when you have a long laundry list and most of it is his baby accessories, I'm not gonna waste my time to go even see if there's any other stuff. So with that being said, let me turn the air on because my windows are up. Like I said, sourcing is kind of getting limited. The Goodwills have gotten way out of control with their pricing. I know we got these stores up here, these other Goodwills called Thrift World up here, and they've gotten a little pricey too. So when I say you have to thrift sometimes where you're uncomfortable, let me just give you a little quick backstory. I was raised poor. We weren't dirt poor, but you know, we were of humble means. So I was raised in Omaha, Nebraska. I was raised in what they call the hood, if you want to call it that. It's the hood, you know. And the hood wasn't as bad back then, you know. Back when I was coming up, because I'm 53 years old, you know, we go home when street lights came on. You know, we had good, clean fun. You know, if we fought, we fought. If you lost, we come back to live and fight another day. Now, unfortunately, these kids are shooting and killing each other, and it's just crazy, you know. And the neighborhoods have gotten way out of control. So being born and raised around here, I know a lot of people. You know, I'm not a messy person. I don't bother people. You know, I've never been a person to get into no fights and stuff like that. And it's not because I can't. It's just because I'm just a cool person. You know, I don't be in people's business. I don't be in people's mess. You know, I don't do all that you know, ruckus and chaos. You know what I'm saying? I've been into some fights, but it was just dumb me being drunk, if I'm being honest. It's just dumb drunk stuff, that happens in life. But other than that, I'm real chill, with everybody. I'm cool with everybody. I'm like everybody's friend. I'm a jokester, so I don't get into all that mess. So I don't worry about going 8 places. I don't have enemies, so I don't stress about going places. Do I go places and watch my surroundings? Absolutely, because innocent people get hurt, killed, robbed all the time. So I'm always aware of my surroundings, and that's from also just my upbringing, period, from being around the bar scene. I've been a bartender, I've been a bouncer, I've been a lot of things in the bars around here in Omaha. I'm in a motorcycle club, so I'm always aware of my surroundings. I always know what's going on around me. I always watch people. I'm like the person, I'll spot somebody like them people about to fight, and everybody be like, ooh, and all of a sudden the fight breaks out. They be like, oh, because I'm watching. I pay attention. I watch. So there is a couple of small thrift stores. We have like Salvation Armies, and there's one, we have like 2. They're called St. Vincent de Paul. Now, one of them is out west Omaha, which is the more upscale neighborhood, and then one of them is closer to pretty much downtown Omaha, which is where a lot of the homeless people are. So there's the St. Vincent de Paul, and it sits like right in this little kind of a strip mall, and it always looks seemingly shady and in kind of a bad area. And a friend of mine was like, I've been in there, they don't really have anything. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. They said like, I felt like it was kind of dirty, whatever. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. And I'm like, the bin store's dirty, whatever. So one day I had to be down that way. And I was like, damn, there ain't much down here. I don't want to eat nothing. I don't want to go sit and really park in no place crazy, because it's downtown, and I want to go try to find a place to park. So I was like, well, hell, they got a parking lot. It's seemingly empty and they're open. So I went in there, and the first time I went in there, it wasn't, it's not the cleanest place, but it ain't like filthy. It's like probably bin store dirty, if that. But it's just like a little seedy, St. Vincent de Paul thrift store. I actually found some really good pieces. I found a rain spooner, which I've never ever found in the wild, ever. A rain spooner, a silk shirt. Got that sold. I found some like NFL stuff. The caveat to that place is when they're trying to get rid of stuff, some of the stuff like green tag stuff or whatever is 99 cents, or if it's over $9, it's 75% off. And mind you, the pricing is already pretty decent. I will say that the pricing is not bad at all. They have really reasonable prices. They have, when they're trying to get rid of other clothes though, like I said, they'll do 99 cents. But I guess certain clothes, check this out. If it has an X on the tag, 4 for $1. 4 for $1. Now, in that area, I would say that's actually a good novelty. Because, if you're homeless, and you got a little income coming in, or, you panhandle, or, for lower income people that live in that area, you can go buy 2 pair of pants, 2 shirts for $1. I mean, that's pretty good. And it's not bad stuff. Like, I literally found, I think, 4 pairs of cut from the cloth jeans. 4 pair of cut from the cloth jeans in there. And Cut from the Cloth is a really good brand. So I found 4 pair of cut from the cloth jeans. So I got them for $1. 4 for $1. The first time I was in there, I think I got just a bunch of random shirts, but they were good shirts. I think I sold them on my show, and they all sold. So they were $1. So I basically paid a quarter a piece for them. I sold them for like, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, whatever, So good deal, if I sell them on my show for starting at $2, I would double my money on them. So 4 for $1, I mean, that is insane. And it's like I said, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Like I said, I found that. I think I found an academics jacket in there. I can't remember what else I found on my first haul. This haul here, I will do a haul, but I found the 4 cut from the cloth jeans. I found a cashmere blazer. The funny thing about the cashmere blazer is when I opened it up, the tags were cut, like kind of cut out almost to look like. But then I was like, let me just dig. Then I dug in one of the pockets. I found a piece of paper, and it said Oxford Clothing cashmere jacket, $2,000. I was like, what? So I dug in the pocket, and the tag actually there was a tag in there, and it's Oxford Clothing jacket. Never heard of it, but it's 100% something cashmere. And cashmere's, it does say, I don't know who wanted $2,000 for the jacket, but apparently they didn't get it because it was at the Goodwill for $15. So we'll see how it sells. I paid a little bit up for it. It was $15. So we'll see how it sells, hopefully. But cashmere does sell. Cashmere is a good brand. But that's what I say, about sometimes you have to source where you're uncomfortable. Most people wouldn't have went in that place. There was a lot of homeless people that walked in there. You could tell they were, homeless. They had to leave their backpacks up front. They all had backpacks. And they were all in basically the $4 rack, like I said, for $1, you get 2 shirts, 2 pair of pants, And if any of them had asked me for $1 to help out, I would have gave them $1. So it's a good deal. So again, that's why I said sometimes you have to source where you're uncomfortable. Most people wouldn't go in there because it's in a, probably not a decent neighborhood. I know there's other resellers probably who are here in Omaha that probably never go to there. And not trying to call nobody out. There's, a reseller here who I do follow. And she's always talking about, it's a seedy neighborhood. I'm not going in there. And she's, I don't know. She lives in Council Bluffs or something. I don't know. But I ain't going to talk bad about her. And I don't care if anybody tells her. No, I know. Okay, I'm kidding. But anyway, so that's what I'm talking about. You have to source where you're uncomfortable sometimes to get good deals. I feel like, I paid $20 for everything. I feel like even with that cashmere jacket, and I'm probably going to go home and list that right away because it's still kind of warm outside, that's probably going to pay for the whole haul. It's $15. Even if I sell it for $50 or $60, I've made my money. I don't know about the 2,000. I have to look it up. I didn't look it up. I just went with it because it was cashmere. I just kind of was like, I personally never have found a cashmere blazer. I know people have. I've seen it, on videos I've watched. I've never found one. And most of the time, I know I heard a couple resellers say, if it's cashmere, pick it up. It'll sell. And I feel like it is a nice blazer. It's a nice blazer. So it's not like it's an ugly blazer or anything at all. It's actually a very nice blazer. So again, that's why I said sometimes you have to source where you're uncomfortable. And I'm not saying go into, a neighborhood where they got dead bodies laying in front of the building or nothing like that. But, if it's something that is not that bad to where, you could all you have to do is, just watch yourself, pay attention to your surroundings and go on in there, get through the store and get your butt on out and head on out. Do it, because you never know what you might find. So, and now I feel like I want to go out to the other one that's out west and see, I don't know what if they have the same type of $4 deals, because I haven't been to that one in a while. In a very long time, probably about a year, I haven't been to that one. So I need to go out there and see if maybe they have that $4 deal as well. Just to kind of see what's going on out there. I know they do have a little, I'm not gonna lie, that one I've actually never really found anything great out there. They have some good hats, but I don't think I really bought any clothing out of that one. That's why I kind of stopped going to it. I really never found anything. It was kind of, I felt like it's a waste of my time. So, but maybe, they got better inventory. Like I said, garage sales are coming to an end. People are donating stuff that, hasn't sold at their garage sales. So, people are getting rid of a lot of stuff. People are getting towards the end of moving. People don't, cleaned up because their kids are going back to college. So the stores might be a little bit better now. I honestly haven't been really doing a lot of sourcing at the thrift stores and stuff because there's been so many garage sales. And I'm not doing a lot of sourcing right now because I'm moving. So I'm trying to limit what I bring home because I don't want to move a whole lot of stuff. And I want to, if I got something cheap, you know, I'm gonna try to turn it over fast. Like, you know, the cut from the cloth jeans, I'll probably sell them at my show, you know, try to sell them in my show this evening, just to turn it over quick. I mean, I literally paid 25 cents for them. I probably will stop at a garage sale or two though before the day is up, just to kind of see what they got. Like I said, there wasn't too many good ones that I saw, so I'm not going to be out too long today. I'm going to go home, try to look that jacket up, get it listed, get prepared for my show tonight. I got something else to do tonight. I go get the key to my apartment, to new apartment tomorrow. So I'm going to start moving stuff in and getting that together until I can hire some movers to move the big stuff, because I have a really big TV and a really, really heavy king size bed that I'm not trying to move. So with that being said, guys, I'm pulled up to my mom's house. I won't hold you guys any longer. I just wanted to do that quick video about that. Hopefully this video gets uploaded. I don't know what heck is happening. I've been having the darndest time saving and uploading my videos to YouTube, so pray that this one works. So, all right, guys. Again, follow me on district.net, dibdit.com, or First Class Treasures. I sell on both those platforms. I do have a Whatnot, but I do not sell on there. I have not sold on there in almost a year. One of these days, once I get comfortable, I think I'm going to might try a show on Whatnot, just to see what happens, and just get my feet back wet. But you know, District hasn't done me wrong. You know, I've been doing well on there, and I got a, you know, pretty decent following and some good people over there.
People that been asking.
Who I rock with, and I appreciate all of them. Shout out to Oki and Checkerboard, and I got a whole bunch of B Vargas and Street Dreams.
I gotta take the hoodie off soon.
Thomas Lane, Lincoln Lane Treasures. All of those guys, they are great, and they are always in my lives, and I appreciate them. If it's anybody I missed, charge it to my head and not my heart. But I will talk to you guys soon. Have a great rest of your Friday and a good weekend. If I'm not around, like I said, I'm gonna be moving some stuff, so I'm gonna be kind of in and out here the next week or so. So holla, peace.